Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, and welcome to the show. Today is the 9th, Wednesday, the 9th of June, 2021. Thank you for tuning in. Now, listen, what if they were to ban cryptos? The groundwork has already been laid. Do you remember those ransomware things that came along? And the attacks on infrastructure in the United States of America? Perfect excuse. All it would take maybe is one more. And then they would have their everything that they need to ban it in the United States of America. But here's the thing, guys. We're going to explore what would happen if they were to do that. There's a lot of other countries in the world besides the United States of America, you know. And an awful lot. Bitcoin is not something that's regional. Bitcoin is worldwide. If they banned it in the United States of America, they would probably know where all the larger wallets are within the United States of America. People who had sizable amounts, possibly more than, say, 100 Bitcoins. They would know where those wallets are. They'd be able to probably track them. But, you know, there's an awful lot of people who have incremental amounts in the United States of America. And you wouldn't be able to buy any more when you're in the United States of America. The second effect would be, if they banned it in the United States of America, I mean really clamped down hard, banned it, made it illegal to own, illegal to trade. The second effect that it would have in the United States of America is that you wouldn't be able to buy any. Be illegal to buy. And believe me, they could track down all of the, on the internet, all of the sites that where you go to buy Bitcoin, and they could stop them, block them, make it so you cannot buy it in the United States of America. The net effect of what this would have is the rich people, they have ways of buying it, even if they live in the United States of America. They have ways of buying it. They would be able to do it. They might have to do it through a third party or whatever, but they would be able to buy it. But what would happen is the price of cryptos, because Bitcoin price would drop like a stone, the price of all the cryptos would drop like a stone. People in other countries and the rich in the United States of America and the people in other countries would scoop up the cheaper Bitcoins. And as they scooped them all up, the price would start to go back up again. But you wouldn't have it. And then they would come in with pressure to say, hey, you got to, even if you got, they would try to scare the people in the United States of America into selling their Bitcoin. And they would probably offer to buy them at these reduced prices, whatever Bitcoin would drop to. Maybe Bitcoin would drop down to, I don't know, $6,000-7,000. There would be a process of the rich scooping them up. And an awful lot of people would get scared of prosecution or whatever. They would see ads in newspapers that say, if you own Bitcoin, you can be prosecuted or whatever, and you need to sell it. And an awful lot of people, even with these smaller wallets, would yield them over to the government, very much like the gold confiscation that happened in America's past, when they made it illegal to own gold, and they threatened to put you in prison if you had any amount of gold, that if you kept it. And an awful lot of people didn't have much, had it hidden away in places, you know, and they turned it in for the $20, I think they gave them per ounce, which back then was a lot of money, by the way, guys, you know. But then later they repriced gold at $35. See, they don't want you to ever get ahead. And so, just take it for instance. Say there's two neighbors, one next door to the other neighbor, and say they banned Bitcoin in the United States, right? So one neighbor is reading in the newspaper that owning Bitcoin is a offense that you can be prosecuted. He reads in the paper, turn in your Bitcoin now before it's too late, and everything, sponsored by the government, and he reads that in the paper, and he's got like point 0.012 bitcoins in his wallet. And say his neighbor right next door's got 0.012 bitcoins in his wallet too, So one guy, he reads the newspaper, he gets all scared. Says, Martha, they're gonna prosecute me if I keep this. They'll find me. And he gets all panicky and everything else, And they'll prosecute me. I gotta turn this in. Because if I don't turn this in, they'll prosecute me. So he sells his Bitcoin for the measly price. Maybe they got it down to $5,000 a Bitcoin, right? He sells it. Scared. And then after he sells it, he's like breathing a sigh of relief. Whew, Martha, I sold it, and now I got a verification code from the government that I sold it, and I'm okay. I don't have any, and I'm clean. I did what the government wants me to do. To sell this illegal, illicit money that's used for to fund organized crime or whatever, or money laundering, and who knows what all excuses they'll come up with, right? To that they need to turn all this Bitcoin in, right? So it turns the Bitcoin in. Where does that Bitcoin go? Some rich guy's buying it up. So then after this is all over, and all the people have been basically stripped of all their coins, but what about the guy next door to him who had the same amount? Well, he read the newspaper articles and too, but he was too busy, at work or whatever, and he knew about, he got it on a wallet someplace, but he's just like, I'll do it later or whatever. So he keeps his Bitcoin, the guy next door, because he just kind of basically forgot even where he put it. Was it on that old laptop I had in the closet? I don't know. Do you remember what the password was? He asked his wife, Mary Lou. Mary Lou, do you remember what the password was for that? I think I'll turn it in. She says, no, I can't remember the password. I think you read it down someplace. And he's like, I don't know where I put it, I'm just going to go to work. Forget about it. Leave it there. If they come get me and they throw me in jail, I'll deal with that then. I'm too busy. So he goes to work and he forgets about it. Days pass, weeks pass, months pass. He's still got that Bitcoin. He didn't sell his, because he was just too busy. He wanted to he was thinking about selling it. He was a little bit nervous too that they might, but he just got too busy and he went off with his work, and stuff. And meanwhile, the Bitcoin it was in the closet, on that old laptop or whatever, and his password was someplace, but time passes. A year, maybe 2 years, and Bitcoin goes up to $1 million. And then, once they got all the Bitcoin from everybody, then they make it legal again. So the guy that sold his, he's saying to Martha, Martha, look at the newspaper. Bitcoin's at $1 million now. And I sold mine. Some rich guy's got it. Yeah, she says. Oh, that's too bad, but you're not in jail, so that was a good thing you did. You abided by the law. He says, yeah, I suppose. The guy next door, he almost forgot about his, but he didn't sell it. So he goes in and he finds the old laptop and he switches it on for the first time in like 5 years. The old thing going click, 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 click. What did I do with that password? And his wife, Mary Lou, she says, I remember what you did with the password. I forgot what you did with it there. Now, this is like 2 years have passed, and a while's passed, and Bitcoin's back up to $1 million. Where's the password? She says, I remember where I put it. She goes into the closet and she says, here it is, in this slip of paper. And he enters the password in, and there it is on his wallet. Wallet refreshes and everything. There it is. Oh my goodness. There's 12% here of a Bitcoin. And they're like jumping up and down on the ground. It's $120,000. And now it's legal again in the United States because they just wanted to purge it out of all the little guys. They got it all. Once they got it all, they didn't care anymore because they wanted to make it legal then, so the price would go up because once they got it all, the rich guys got it all, then they wanted to jack the price up the other direction. Gotcha! That's what they're going to do. Well, maybe. I don't know. But it's all set up. I think there's a frenzy on Earth right now. Rich people are stinking greedy for money, and they don't like to spend. They're the cheapest people on Earth. And they looked at Bitcoin price at $65,000, and they said, well, I need at least 1,000 of them. At least 1,000 of them. Well, what is that? $65,000, $64,000. That's too much money. But I still want my 1,000. You know, and they whisper in a few people's ears. Next thing you know, they're able to buy them for $5,000, $6,000. Makes it much more affordable for them. So all the rich people want to scoop them all up. I think that the central banks want them. I think everybody wants them right now. But because rich people are cheap, they don't want to pay full price. They want to get it down one way or the other. It doesn't matter if it's FUD. It doesn't matter if what they have to do. They'll cheat, steal, they're crooked. They'll do whatever they have to do, knock the price down, and scoop them all up, and then let the price go to the moon on the other side of that. They never play by the rules. They always have an ace up their sleeve. If you guys never knew that before, you know. So ultimately, where do I think Bitcoin's going? I think it's going to be the foundation storing money for the world. I think at a certain point, gold and silver are just going to be stripped clean, stripped bare. They're going to have all that. It's going to all be stored away in the rich people's vaults. You ain't going to get any, and if you do get some right now, hang on to it, because they might try to pull the same old tricks with the gold and silver that they think maybe they might do with the Bitcoin. They're going to, everything that's real, tangible. And yes, I believe that a private key to a Bitcoin wallet is something that's real and tangible. Just like a silver coin or a gold coin. Anything that's real and tangible is out of the dollar and out of these fiat currencies, they don't want you to have that, because that's going to go to infinity pretty soon. As the fiat currencies go in the opposite direction, down the toilet. So they don't want you to have any of this stuff, because it's going to make you rich. And they want to be the only rich. They don't want you to be rich. So I want you guys to think about that for a minute. Think about all the tricks that they might pull between now and when these things go to infinity in price. I want you guys to think about all the things that they might do to keep you from getting wealthy. They don't want you to be wealthy. They want to all be wealthy in their own little club, flying around in their new jets that they got ordered. You know, they got these new jets that can fly between, say Europe to the United States in like 1 hour. You know, they're ultrasonic jets. And they'll be sitting up there drinking their champagne and eating their caviar, while all the people down below that they're flying over are starving. This is the kind of world that they want. They want to be lords and ladies and have all of you guys pretend to be lords and ladies, but you're not. You guys are the foundation that supports them. They want to keep that foundation in place so that they can walk on that foundation with their velvet slippers. Anyway, listen, guys, I'm kind of ranting here a little bit, kind of, but this is where the whole thing's going. So, you know, I mean, if you guys got gold, silver, cryptos, or whatever, hang on for dear life, because what's coming is they're going to strip the foundations away, and they're already stripping the foundations away of these fiat currencies. They're going to become worthless. And once this really gets underway, it's going to happen rather quickly, because it's all a confidence game. They have to maintain confidence, and they're losing it fast. Thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next show. Bye-bye.